One of the most powerful things that you can do in your life is rediscover your silence, your inner self, your being without noise, yourself, your consciousness, your just the stillness of life. Because we as people, I think, especially within like culture and society, are so fast moving, so fast paced, because we want to keep evolving and keep going and moving and trying to grow and be the best person that we could finally and can be, which I do not think is a bad thing. I really don't, because I strive for that. And I think everybody should try to become 1% better. But I think when it becomes an issue, when too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing, is when we forget how to slow down, how to be quiet, how to listen to the silence, how to be okay with the silence. Because when you are silent, when you hear nothing, when you are no longer even thinking about the noise in your head, you can finally see something, feel something, hear something, notice something that you've never experienced before. And when you can actually believe that you are more than what you do, I think is something that is so fulfilling, so unlocking, so, I don't think fulfilling is the right word, but it's so alleviating. Alleviating, I think, is the word, because you realize that that accomplishment is not you, that you are not defined by that success. Because I think the past couple of years that I've been in college, I've absolutely grinded every single part of myself to try and to be that most academically successful person. And one of the most humbling things of my life was when I literally got an A in OChem, organic chemistry, and I got an A in my physics class, and then I got an A- in my principles of marketing class. That was the most humbling thing I've ever had in my life. And what it reminded me was that I am more than my grade. I am more than anything that anybody can try to take away from me. And I know I've talked about this in the other video, but I think I want to even run it home even harder, that when you can put yourself aside of all that noise, put yourself aside of all, honestly, your friends even, and you can recenter yourself into being yourself again, is when you can just enjoy the silence. I think personally, I believe in praying. You do not have to believe in, you don't have to do anything like that. I'm just saying, that's just my personal thing. And I genuinely feel like praying has been a big thing, of just sitting in silence and just knowing that I am such a small cookie in this whole world of cookies. I don't know. I think of cookies just because everybody's a smart cookie. I love that saying. And when you realize that you are so small and you are so, not unimportant, but you're just so small in the retrospective reality, that you can stay humble, that you can stay grounded, that you can stay centered. And I think that's what my faith has given to me, really, is just knowing that I am more than my success, my failures, my accomplishments, my non-accomplishments. I mean, you don't even have to be religious to even understand that. And I think that's the beauty within life, is that you don't have to understand anybody else's perspective other than your own, and that you can find your way and you can find clarity in that sort. And I think once you can actually just calm down the noise, anyways, it's this tag, and I was I hope it's not moldy, but it's not. But when you can finally drown out that noise and listen to yourself and be there for yourself, I think that is when you can actually realize and appreciate everything that you've had. Because last year, I think this was such a wake-up moment, looking back, was that I was so wound tight. We went on a training trip, and I was just sitting on the beach, and I literally could not chill. I could not relax. I couldn't take a moment. I just couldn't, because I didn't understand why I was here. Why are all these, I was just thinking, like, all these people are here, they all have their own stories, like, yada yada, and like, my brain could not shut off. It was so wound so tight, and I knew something was wrong. And that was the same way that I was in high school. Like, during breaks, I was so wound so tight. And I think this year was probably the most like personal growth that I've had. Maybe not the most academic growth that I've had, but I think like personal growth, I think, is just being able to be okay with not doing everything, being okay with slacking off at times and then picking up the pace at the end because you have to. And I think when it comes down to it is that like you have to find your own balance in life, and that you can't just keep coming back and back and back about, oh, I have to do this, oh, I can't do that, oh, I want to do this, but I really don't need to do that. Like, I think when it comes down to it is you just prioritizing what you want, being okay in the silence, and actually asking yourself, what do you want? And when it comes down to it, you and I have to really just be okay with the silence, because that is when our heads are filled out, we're spinning, and we're wound so tight, and we are type A people, and we have to do everything perfectly, and we want everything done perfectly, but perfection is not life. Life is not perfection. And so I want to leave you with this. During the times that you feel most loud in your head, when you feel like you have nothing else but your responsibility, go somewhere else. Go sit in silence. Literally just take deep breaths in and out, because silence is the best way to clear your head. And I say that from experience, from having a world of a head of a tornado. I felt like my head was a tornado. And so remember, you will find your answer and you will find your peace in the most quiet place of your mind.